Okay, welcome to lesson 38. We'll continue with functions. So in this lesson, we continue with the second type of function, non-value returning function. So what is it? So it is obvious, non-value returning function. It doesn't return a value. But is it possible to use return statements in this function? Yes, you can. If you want to exit the function at some point, or if you want to exit the function earlier, you can use return statements. But remember, you don't return any value. So we write it as a note. We can use return statement in this type of function. So when to use a non-value returning function? Whenever you want to display something, whenever you want to change or modify a value, a list, you can use non-value returning function. But do not use it to return a value. Now let's have an example to see how it looks like. So first we have def, the keyword def, and then the name of the function. I'm gonna say fun. Now let's have two parameters. So these are formal parameters. So you should know them from the previous lesson. And then let's have print num1, print num2, and print num1 plus num2. So what it does, it displays number 1, number 2, and the sum of these two numbers. And as usual, this part we have indentation. So how to use the function? So as you know, in order to use a function, you have to call the function. So in the main program, you write the name of the function. Now you need two arguments because you have two formal parameters. And these two formal parameters do not have default values. So I will talk about default values later. But for now, we have two formal parameters. It means we have to pass two actual arguments. Now let's say 50, 3. So I'm saying passing two arguments. So the whole thing is your function call. And here we have two actual arguments. So we don't say we are giving two arguments. We are saying we pass two arguments to the function. And here we don't need to assign the function call to a variable or to use the function call inside a print function. You just call the function without anything extra. Now let's have an example. So def, let's say summation, and then x, y, z. Now the body of the function, we will have some conditions. If x greater than y, if this is true, we return x plus z. Elif x greater than, let's say, z, we return y plus z, and else we return x plus y. So is it non-value returning function or value returning function? It's so obvious, you can say it's a value returning function. Why? Because we have return statement plus we return a value. So for example here, we return x plus z. So whatever you have here under the header, I told you this is the header. So whatever you have here is the body of the function. We have x, y, z. These three are formal parameters. Do not say arguments. Now I want to use this function. Now let's call the function. So it's a value returning function. I can use the function call inside print function, or I can assign the function call to a variable. So I say n equals summation. So we have three formal parameters. Now we have to provide three actual arguments. I say 10, 1, 31. So this is our function call. So which has been assigned to the variable n. So this is our function call. So whenever your program reaches this part, the function call, it goes to the function. Now let's go to the function. So here we have 10. So 10 goes to x, 1 goes to y, and 31 goes to z. Now x is 10, y is 1, and z is 31. Now let's check. If x greater than y, x is 10, 10 greater than y, 10 greater than 1. Is it true? This is true. So we return x plus z. X is 10, z is 31, so we return 41. So if I print the value of n, the result will be 41. Is it always 41? Is it always this one? No. So if you pass different numbers, you will get different values. But here we have if else, so this one was true, we skipped these two. Now let's have another example. Def fun xy, and then return x plus y, something so simple. So what I'm going to show is you can use the function call inside a condition. So here we have if, let me erase it, let me write it here. So it's not a part of the function. And then the function call, a call to this function here. So 5, 10, greater than 20, print y, else print n. So this is our main program. If fun 5, 10, so 5 goes to x, 10 goes to y. So x is 5, y is 10. Now return x plus y, which is 15. So here we say 15 greater than 20. Is it true? No, this one is false. So we have if else. So we go to else part and we print letter n. We can also call a function inside another function. So let's define two functions, def f1 x y, return x plus y, and let's define the second function f2, and here just one parameter. So both of them are value returning functions. So here what I'm going to return is f1 10 3 equal to f1 plus z. Now let's go to the main program. So somewhere here, let's say res equals f2 5. So a call to function f2. And I want to print res. So what's happening here? So this part is our main program. So we have res equals f2 5. Now we have to go to this function f2. So what is the value of z? The value of z is 5. 5 goes to z. Now this is the body of the function. So we have to return something. Return, now we have another function call, f1 10 3. So let's go to the function. Now 10 goes to x and 3 goes to y. So here we return x plus y. X is 10, y is 3, so we return 13. So we return 13. Now let's go back to this function call. Now the answer is 13 plus, we have z. What is the value of z? I said 5. So 13 plus 5, 18. So we return 18. Now this is 18. So res equals 18. So you print number 18. Now it's time to discuss something so important, which is called positional argument. So whenever you hear positional argument, remember that the position or the order is important. So let's have a function. I'm gonna write the header, not the body. So x comma y. So we have some statements here. Now in the main program, I call the function func 10 comma 30. So here we have positional argument. 10 goes to x, 30 goes to y. So the position is important. If you say func 30 10, 30 goes to x and 10 goes to y. So in positional argument, the order or the position of arguments is important. The order, or let's say the position of arguments, is important. So this is the whole thing about positional arguments. So let's have another function. I'm gonna write it here. Def func xy. So this is another example. So we have some statements. So in the main program, I have n1 equals 50, n2 equals 100, and here func n2 n1. So again, the position is important here because I've said that n2 first and then n1. So n2 goes to x, or let's say the value of n2, which is 100. So 100 goes to x, and here 50 goes to y. Okay, let's have another example about positional argument, so you will understand what's happening. So def, and let's say info, and here we have name, age, two formal parameters, and I'm going to say print your name, and here name, print you are age years old. So I take two formal parameters, or let's say I take two parameters and I show the name and the age. So in the main program, sorry, let me delete this one. So in the main program, I call the function info, and here I say ABC and 20. So it's a non-value returning function. It doesn't return anything. It just outputs these two lines. So now let's see what's happening here. So suppose we have reached this function call. ABC goes to name. 20 goes to age. Now name is ABC and age is 20. So what is the output? So you will see your name, colon ABC, and you are 20 years old, right? So everything seems fine. But now let's have another function call. So this time I'm going to change the position of these two arguments. Now 20 and here ABC. So now you will understand the importance of positional arguments. So this time 20 goes to name and ABC goes to age. So the output will be your name, 20, and you are ABC years old. So does it make sense? Absolutely not. So this is the importance of positional arguments. So let's finish the lesson here. So next time we will continue with keyword arguments and default values. If we get enough time, I will solve a nice example. So as usual, take care and bye-bye.